GoGaming source for all things news in the gaming industry. This is David, and I'll be giving you a brief overview of a few things that have been in the news lately. And we're just going to jump right in here. But beforehand, I'd like to mention that if you'd like to follow us on social media, you can do so. You can find us on Twitter and Instagram at GoGamingGuys. You can search YouTube for GoGaming, as well as Facebook for GoGaming. Now, this upcoming week, Chill and I are heading out to Daytona Beach in Florida to cover the 2050 event, which is going on from the 30th to... my cat. It's going to be from the 30th until the 1st of November, featuring a lot of different gaming tournaments. Go away. Go away. Go away. A lot of different gaming tournaments, a lot of cosplay stuff, a lot of everything gaming, and we're going to be doing live coverage of that event starting at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time on Friday the 30th, live from 2050 in Daytona Beach. So if you want to learn more about that, or if you want to catch us live, you can do so, or you can check out our website at gogaming.tv. Jumping right in, we got a handful of stuff ranging from consoles to PC to just about every genre out there. Starting off with Windows 10, if you're not using Windows 10 yet, I would definitely recommend upgrading to Windows 10. Windows 10 is awesome. I think I've heard it described many times as what Windows 8 should have been but wasn't. So if you're not using Windows 10 yet, I recommend the free upgrade to it, especially after the fall update comes, which is reportedly coming in November. The Windows 10 fall update is reportedly coming in November, as I just said, and it's going to be the Threshold 2 update. Excuse me. According to Thurrott.com, it's called the Windows 10 fall update, which is a cumulative update rather than a full build. So if you are one of the people that have automatic updates already installed or already toggled, then you'll be good to go. You'll get that automatically. If you're one of those people like me, where you have to go out and manually install updates, then you want to keep your eye out for that. So it includes a number of changes that were reported in the Windows Insider beta build from earlier this month, including improvements to Edge as well as Cortana. Edge is the successor to Internet Explorer, if you are not familiar with that. In addition, push-button reset feature will now reset your PC to the Windows 10 fall update rather than the original Windows 10 release. So it's not that exciting of an update, but it's nice to see that Microsoft's treating it as a a service. You know, Microsoft's quote Windows as a service treatment. We'll see how that plays out. If they're going to put out more regular updates and improve the operating system over the year until Windows 11 comes out, whenever that might be. All right, so Windows 10 fall update is coming in November, so if you have Windows 10, look out for that. If you have not upgraded yet, like I said, I definitely recommend you do so. Moving on up to one of my least favorite things in video gaming, microtransactions. I know that one word alone just makes everybody uneasy. At least for me, it does. Because immediately think of pay-to-win games. The number one that comes to mind, mostly because I've played it, was APB and its successor, APB Reloaded. It is 100,000% pay-to-win. Or at least it was last time I played, last year. I haven't played since then, so maybe they've done a 180 and completely changed that. But if you've been following Payday 2, you'll know that they put in microtransactions recently. Even though they said they weren't going to in 2013, they said that they weren't going to ever have microtransactions. But surprise, surprise, they implemented microtransactions last week. Came as part of the Black Market update, which delivers random loot drops via safes. The only thing is you need to have drills in order to open them, and drills cost real money. However, as you might expect, that caused quite a bit of controversy online, and Overkill, the developer for Payday 2, has backed off from that, adding loot as a card loot drop reward, the drills. So it appears that they're not exactly easy to get. If you're to go based on forum posts, it might come off as being somewhat rare or hard to find, but it is in there, so maybe that's a sign of what's to come. Maybe they're going to back off more. Maybe they're just, trying to appease the players. That's Payday 2. It's actually a pretty fun game. But if you're a fan of it and you like microtransactions, I would love to meet somebody who likes microtransactions. So if you are a fan of microtransactions, you actually enjoy them, please reach out to us. I would love to have a conversation with you on one of our shows or even during one of our live streams. So if you are a fan of microtransactions, drop us a line on our website at GoGaming.tv, or you can email me directly at david@GoGaming.tv. We're going to switch gears off of that. And have you ever heard of a game called One Life? Or shall I say, The Flock? No, they're not the same game. They are actually completely different games. The Flock is a stealth horror multiplayer game based on limited access. So, as the name might imply, there's a limited population of players in the game, and once that population of players has died, the game will stop working forever. So that in itself is kind of an interesting concept. I think that it's a cool thing, as long as the game doesn't end too quickly. Although I believe, if I remember correctly from reading about this before, when I first heard about the game, it's designed to, hopefully it'll last many months. Maybe even a couple years, something like that. But once everybody's dead, that's it. The game will shut off forever. So I guess that prevents the game from being too repetitive, the same thing over and over and over, which is kind of an interesting concept. The only thing is, are they going to reboot it? Are they going to wipe it and start again? What would they do after that point? Anyways, so One Life is a similar kind of concept. It's a first-person shooter, but here's the kicker. It locks you out forever if you die. So instead of it locking everybody out once the population is gone, when you die, that's it. That's kind of a scary proposition for a game that's not free to play. It's actually, you can pre-order it from their website for $10. So for a game that's not free, the idea that you could buy a game for $10 and it could theoretically lock you out within the first few minutes, that's kind of a scary idea. But at the same time, it kind of is like, well, I wonder what could happen. One Life recently appeared on Steam Greenlight, and so that's out there if you want to take a look at it. And one of the interesting things about the game is that it has a sort of a domination mechanic, which allows players to decide the fate of whoever they killed. So if I were to kill another player, I could decide the fate of that player. So that could mean that if they spare you, then you don't die, or they could finish you off completely and lock you out of the game, which I think, honestly, a lot of people would end up doing. If somebody was being a pain in the ass, that they would, they'd finish you off for good, just kick you out of the game entirely, and just leave it at that. However, Apparently, you can forgive, humiliate, finish off, take everything he has. It's your choice. Saved the life of some loser, take them captive, and make them work it off. They will do everything to be free again. No other game will give you the feeling of power over the people. That's what the One Life Green Light page explains on there, which is kind of a very broad and vague statement. So from just that couple of sentences alone, it sounds like you can do just about anything you want to him. You could take him captive, I guess. I don't even know how that would work. It's also not clear like how, quote, working it off would entail. But the game doesn't promise live communication between players using voice chat, which I think is awesome. Games that have voice chat, namely Rust, and other ones out there, definitely. It's fun to use voice chat because you can scare people, you can freak people out, and also you can just have a nice conversation with people, too. So it says that they will have voice and text chat. So you could, I don't know, talk a bunch of smack to them, I guess, in voice chat, and make them beg for their life or something like that. Also, in the trailer that they posted, it also is possible to take a digital piss on them. Yep, you heard that correctly. And if you want to go check out the trailer, go for it, and you'll see what I mean. But then again, like I said, if you kill somebody and then you just decide to finish them off, that's it. They're done. They can never see you in that game again. Now, it makes me wonder, what if you go buy the game again? Then again, I guess if it's based on your Steam account, then that would kind of lock you out. What if you got a different key, though? I'm not too sure. And maybe that's just a really simple question. I'm just thick and I just don't understand that concept. But anyways, it's a regular conventional first-person shooter, but it also sounds like there's some crafting and safe zones, combat hotspots. But yeah, so that sounds like an interesting game. I'll check it out, and maybe we'll feature it on One Chance, one of Chill's gaming series here on GoGaming. So maybe we'll give that a go, see how that goes. Maybe we'll survive for a while. I don't know. That's kind of interesting. In a relatively unrelated topic, Nvidia. If you have an Nvidia card and you're used to going to their website for game-ready drivers for new release games or anything like that, you soon will not be able to do that. It's been announced that you will be required to use the oh-so-fun GeForce Experience program to download drivers for your computer. So new drivers still will be released through their website, but it's restricted to quarterly updates for things like bug fixes and major new features. But the game-ready driver releases will only be through GeForce Experience. I don't quite know how to feel about that. I don't like GeForce Experience. I've had a lot of problems with it in the past. It's a pain in the butt. Maybe that's just me. Again, if there's somebody out there who disagrees and thinks it's God's gift to gaming, please let us know on our website, or you can. I guess this is going to be on YouTube, so you can put it in the comments section below. You can flame me for not knowing what I'm talking about, or whatever you want to do. So that's interesting. That's what's going to go on with Nvidia's game-ready drivers. And hey, speaking of other major companies screwing with people, have you tried contacting Valve customer support recently? If you answered yes to that question, have you been incredibly frustrated with their response or lack thereof? If you answered yes to that question as well, I have some good news for you. Steam is very well aware that their customer support sucks, and they are actually working on it. They're very aware of it, like I said, and Eric Johnson of Valve told Kotaku that there are a few issues contributing to the long waits for responses.
They had to come up with new software for a new support system, option to provide refunds, and it required a lot of work. They mentioned specifically games like Dota 2, Counter-Strike Global Offensive, and Team Fortress 2, which are Valve's own games, so that's kind of funny. So they're working on it. They're trying to get something in the works to have an acceptable level of support by end of year. But I think it's going to be an ongoing process, which is good because, Steam is major, is a major player. And so if they have crappy customer support, then that's just not good times anywhere for anyone who needs that support. So I'm glad that they've acknowledged it and that they're trying to improve the situation. For those of you who are on Battle.net, who play World of Warcraft or Hearthstone or anything like that, Blizzard has announced the beta launch date for Overwatch, but they also mentioned that it's going to have built-in voice chat. Built-in voice chat, like I mentioned previously, voice chat's awesome. It's it's really cool when it's done well and implemented properly. But on the flip side, it could really suck if it's not done well or implemented properly. So they said that they're going to have built-in voice chat. But it's not going to be part of Overwatch, but built into Battle.net itself. So Blizzard apparently has their own voice chat system that they are building, but it's going to be premiered in Overwatch. So it's still in early development and in testing stages, as is Overwatch, since it's going to be in beta. But it would make sense that they're going to test it out in there, and then maybe they'll even roll it out to other games that they do later on down the road. I'm not too sure. But that would be great. I mean, that would increase the social interaction between users, players, guests, whatever. But as long as they implement it correctly and it doesn't suck, that's going to be the major thing there. If they can do it right, then that's going to be great. Then, for years and years and years, people have relied on Ventrilo. They've relied on TeamSpeak, just as I have myself, for their clans, communities, what have you. But more and more games are implementing voice chat systems, which are making it easier to communicate with other players, to share strategies with teammates, and so on and so forth. So it's a great thing. I think it's going to be good for the game. It's going to be good for everything else if they can implement in other games as well. There is a guy. His name is Eric. He was a 18-year Microsoft veteran. If you don't know who I am talking about, he was instrumental in the Xbox team. He was working on it for many years. In fact, he has the world's first Gamertag. So his first the first Gamertag ever was created on August 13th, 2002, and his Gamertag is simply E. And so he was, his LinkedIn profile lists him as a consultant for Microsoft Consulting Services, senior consultant, operations program manager for Xbox Live, operations manager for Xbox Live, director of architecture for Xbox Live, gaming ninja, I'm not kidding, it says that, for Xbox Live, as well as architect for Xbox Live. So he's been around for, 14 and a half years. He worked at Microsoft for 18 years, and he's been with the Xbox team for 14 and a half of it. So his last day was yesterday, October 23rd. Although when you'll be hearing this, will probably be on Monday, the 26th. My math is terrible. I'm sorry. It's getting late. So his last day was the 23rd. So Friday the 23rd was his last day. He tweeted, "So long and thanks for all the gamers core." Xbox Live grew considerably over the past decade. Let's see. For the last financial period, Xbox Live had 39 million active users, which is up 28% to the same period last year. And they announced it'll be Xbox Live numbers, not console shipments, that it emphasizes in its quarterly reports when it talks about Xbox. So, Xbox is a pretty common name. People know, if you say Xbox, people know what it is. So it's a big name, and so this guy had a pretty good, he was pretty instrumental in its development, and everything. I mean, he got the world's first Gamertag, and imagine if he tried selling that. I know you can't really do that, but if you were, you'd probably get quite a bit for it. So his departure, Microsoft's been laying off about a bunch of people, about 1,000 people. And so it's not clear if his leaving Microsoft has anything to do with that or if it was just time to leave. But we wish him best of luck, although I'm sure he can go just about anywhere with that kind of resume. But good luck to him in his future endeavors. So that's going to wrap up this week's episode of GoNews. Again, I apologize for the coughing. It should be gone by our next episode next week. And I will have more gaming news and updates for you. Be sure to check out our website at www.gogaming.tv. Check out us on Instagram and Twitter at GoGamingGuys. On YouTube, search for GoGaming, as well as Facebook, search for GoGaming. Until next time, this is David for GoGaming, and we'll catch you on the other side around.